Hi there, and welcome to the Mindful Marathon podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Michelle Quirk, a run coach and pediatrician. Mindful Marathon is all about helping runners of all types to run their own race. Whether you are a seasoned runner or you're just getting started, I want to let you know that you're welcome here and that you're in the right place. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Mindful Marathon podcast. Today, I have a super special guest with me. I actually have a returning guest, our first returning guest.
I'm so honored.
Yes, and I'm honored to have you. So I have with me Qwazir James. If you listened to the podcast about a year ago, I had him on and his colleague Justin from the Students Run Philly Style, and we did a great episode for Podcasthon all about the Students Run. So Qwazir is a runner and now a three-time marathoner, and he enjoys running and the mental health benefits of running. So, Qwazir, welcome back to the show, and I'm excited to talk to you.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here,
Yeah,
as
so
always.
well, yes, last time we talked all about the Students Run, and I'm sure that we will talk about
Yeah.
them and the important role they've played in your life. But tell us a little bit about, catch us up on the last year or so, and tell us about how running has looked for you lately.
Okay, so like the last time I was here, dang, it was really a year already. It was like February of last year. So since then, I've done Broad Street, another half marathon, another marathon. It's been like one of the craziest years for me, like running wise, because it was like everything just was like flowing really well. Like I ran like 1,500 miles last year. Like I was like really just, it was one of the most like exciting times to be a runner last year. I don't know what it was. Like 2025 was just like the year of like everything for me in run season because it was like everything was flowing well. I've been like enjoying it. I've gotten back into the flow of like just loving running again. It's been wonderful. Best
Awesome.
times.
Yes. Well, also, Quazir, I did not introduce the fact that you are now a senior in high school.
Oh
So,
yeah, yeah.
yes, sorry about that. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you plan to do next year. I
Oh
forgot that.
yeah. Oh yeah. Speaking of which, since I was senior, I went through the whole college apply process, and actually, this would be like a surprise drop to people who don't know and who don't watch the podcast, or any of my friends who are about to watch the podcast when this gets out. I have actually fully committed to Temple University for the program for sports media.
What? Oh, congrats. I didn't know that either.
Thank you.
So congrats.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes,
Amazing.
I like just did it like last Saturday. Just fully committed to Temple.
Amazing. Amazing. So you won't be going too far. That makes me
Nah,
happy.
yeah, like I was like, I want to go like too far away. Then I'm like, then I found like Temple had like a really good sports media program and everything.
Yeah, that's amazing. That and it's so great how this is all working out the way it's supposed to.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, oh, it's wonderful.
Yes. Although then we have much to celebrate and much to look forward to, it sounds like.
Yes, very much.
Yeah. Well, one of the reasons why I wanted to have you back on the show, and you were very passionate that you wanted to talk about the importance of running and mental health. And I
Mm,
think, especially right now, like we are living through a very difficult, chaotic time. I mean, that's like scratching the surface. And a
yeah,
lot of people are struggling. And I think it's very hard because we live in a very technology focused world and we're all on social media. I mean, I feel like I'm a lot older and it's very hard for me to escape it. And so as a young adult, I feel like it's very hard for you to escape that world. So tell us a little bit about maybe your mental health journey and how running has helped you through this because I think it will help a lot of people out there.
yeah. So like, this might be a long story, but
That's okay.
basically, so like for a while, like I've been running for about since I was in sixth grade. Dang, it's been about 6 years, which is like crazy to me now. But like I've been running. It's always like been a resource for me. Like as like I actually not even lie. At first, I feel like everybody starts at this stage. I hated it so much. Like at first, like I couldn't run a mile at first, and I hated that. And I didn't think I would ever like fall in love with it. It was just like one of the things that I'd like see the flyer for. I was like, yeah, I'll try it. And then like as I grew older, I like grew to love it. It's now the thing I love like the most just about almost 2 years ago, I'll say. And basically like I started noticing like changes like within like mood and stuff like that. I get like seasonal depression and stuff like when the winter months and everything. Like I
Mhm.
hate it. One of the
Yes.
worst things ever. And so like
Yes.
when I was like, it's the worst. I hate it. And so when I was like in 10th grade at the time, like things got really bad at that point. Like mentally, I was like, what can I do? How can I escape like this anxiety, this fear, like this depression? Like, how can I get away from everything that was happening? And
Mhm.
so like I didn't know what was going on at first. And like just to plug mental health for real here.
Please. Yes.
One of the big things too, I think, and myself included here, a lot of people I think, right, especially I don't know about your perspective, but especially from like a male perspective, when like I was like younger, it was one of the things where it was like afraid to like, seek out help of like what was going on. Like and like a lot of my friends like have gone through like the same thing and everything. It was one of the things where like I didn't want to seek help. Like I didn't want to like reach out to people and like because I also felt like talking to people might be a burden on them if I'm like, going on about my problems, everything. And I still do feel that way sometimes, but now I'm much more like comfortable like expressing it out
Mhm.
now. But at the time, like I did not want to seek help and like do therapy and everything because
Yeah.
like anxiety was crazy, like depression was crazy. Like I have like OCD, they think, or something like that, where it's like
Mhm.
sometimes it's just like too much goes on, like the like thoughts in your head where you're like, is something going to happen? Was this? Was that? Like I get those a lot,
Yep.
but like at the time, like I've been going through with this. I would say like I never like seek help at all
Mhm.
because I've been going through that since I was like maybe 10. But like I
Mhm.
never like it was like the secret like that I kept like I didn't like tell anybody until like it got to the point where it was like, oh, I need to like seek help, tell
Share.
somebody, yeah, like share the story out there. And so
Yeah.
like I like seek therapy. That like did its job for like a little bit, but like not like see, I needed something else. Like, you know how it was like talking to somebody worked, but
Yeah.
like the stuff was still like there.
Yeah.
So then it turned into like psychiatrist visits and stuff. And then like been on medication to like manage like the anxiety, the depression. It's actually been working. I've been feeling really good now when things finally started to like I finally saw the psychiatrist and like got the medication to like help calm things down and everything like that. Cause at first, like seeing the therapist only helped like but so much, even though I
Yeah.
still see him to this day, but like it can only do like, so much. And then the medication's like the helping factor of it as well. Like I've been like seeing therapists every week and like medication
Mhm.
every just like been the well balanced like type of machine has been working. It's like having me like back on track to how I used to be when
Yes.
at first like I'm like, what am I doing? Even last year, like I like through the summer, it was like tough too. Like the summer of 2025 was
Mhm.
really tough.
Well, I
Yeah.
can get behind all of this because I'm a pediatrician, so I
Yeah.
I
That's
always want to
ridiculous.
encourage, we have for our teens at the office, we have like an adolescent screening tool. So it's like a
Mm,
questionnaire that my patients will fill out. So that sometimes will help to spark discussion. But yeah, I mean, I would just encourage everybody out there. I mean, there's still a lot of fear about sharing these struggles. And
mm,
if I could do anything, it would be to just normalize that
mm,
it's okay to seek help, just as you would when you're sick and you have a cold and a fever and you come and see me or you go and see your pediatrician. But
mm.
your doctor can be, and for the adults listening, your family doctor or your internal medicine doctor can be a great resource to get you the help that you need. And I just don't want people to feel afraid to do that.
Yeah, because it was like one of the things too where I was like, I want to, but like I knew like I needed to. Like it was one of the things where I put it off for a while, but then it was like you need to do this. Like it wasn't really helping like anybody if I didn't really like tell my story, but was like really going on. And the thing, like especially over the summer of 2025, it was like a struggle for me, like just like getting through days and certain things, and like I to put my running coach out there, Jeremy, like he's been like a really like good helping resource like for me. And like I've talked to him about like a lot of this stuff like that I've been through and everything. And he like really helped me. He was like, he gave me like the best advice I think here, where he was like, well, you cannot like BS to your therapist like what is going on because you're not going to get anywhere. And like at first, I'm not real like when I first started therapy, I'm like, it was one of the things where like, I'm sharing parts of things, but not like
The whole
everything.
thing. Yes.
But like his advice, like it really got me to like open up more. And like within that, it actually got me like a real good working relationship with my therapist and everything moving forward. And same with like my psychiatrist, just like telling
Mhm.
the truth and getting like the story out there. And here's really where like running comes into like the factor here, where like, over summer I did like I just got in like that point where like we were talking about before I think we started recording this, like where or it might have been the beginning of this episode where it was like, oh, like you said, like, oh, I'm done with this or whatever. And like I thought about that, like we right up like I was like burnt out in a sense, like with everything going on and just like the whole like mood and everything. I was just like, I'm done. But then, like, talking with my mom, Jeremy, and everybody was like, yeah, I just needed some time to, like, think, just rejuvenate in a way. Go on vacation, basically what I did. A little vacation for like a week. Came back, I was like, I feel like I needed something just to like get away for a little bit. That's what it like seemed like. And then so I did that for like a week and chilled at the beach in New Jersey for like a week. And then basically came back, like got back to running again. And like as I found out, like it became such a big resource for me, like in that really like bigly in the summer because like when people weren't around and like my friends were all the way around and whatever, I would like it was weird because I feel like I had nothing to do or anything. And so like running was like a big help. I would run like about like 3 to 6 miles a day, just like keeping it light, not going too fast. And I would just keep it light. And that would help me. I was like, oh, this is a good idea. Like on top of the therapy, the medication, like it all
Mhm.
put me like back in rhythm. It felt like it felt
Yeah.
like I was getting back to where I was. And then like as we moved back towards like school season and like everything, I felt like, oh, I'm like getting back to where like I wanted to be. Like it felt like I was really getting back to the sense of like, oh, back to how it used to be, how normal
Yes.
everything had felt at one point. And like especially because a lot of people like the other day I started up with, which is, you know, to put it this way, this will shock a lot of people here, but like I'll put it this way, I like this is like great that I'm like telling this on this podcast right now because at first I was like reluctant to like open up to anybody like about like what was going on and everything. Like I had tried to like keep it a secret from my friends and everything, family. And like now I'm so much more comfortable like telling the story, telling the struggle. I am my bad, but like how bad anxiety was getting for me or like depression or the OCD. Like I'm like very more open to talk about it now. Like where I'm like I shouldn't be afraid if people like judge is like is what it is. Cause that's what I was more like afraid of when like all of it was happening. Like, but like everybody seems to like get the understanding and like that's the thing that I actually like enjoy the most. Like people actually like understand like what was happening and like the best supportive resources and everything like that. And because like it had got like really, really bad with like the depression stuff, like it just the things I would enjoy just were not enjoyable, but like music
Mhm.
listening or running or watching
Mhm.
shows, like everything kind of like started to like fade out, wasn't like enjoyable. But like doing therapy and doing everything that I've been doing, it really put me like back on track to where
Yeah.
I wanted to be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, I applaud you for recognizing, first of all, that something was wrong and
Mm,
that you weren't feeling like yourself, like you missed that sense of normal, whatever that means for anybody. But I
mm,
think sometimes we don't even recognize what the issue is, but we recognize that there's a change and like that can be the first step toward, getting the appropriate help one way or the other. But I think that most people, I mean, you don't have to have this one particular struggle to know. I mean, most people have struggled with something in their lives,
mm,
and yeah, with their health, their mental health, their physical health. So I think that most people will find this very inspiring, and it will help maybe some others who are afraid the way they feel, maybe to go get some
Mm.
help too.
Yeah, and the big thing I want to put out there too, like when I was younger, like I'm sure we've all heard about how like mental health's not a real thing. Like they put that out there a lot.
Mm.
Like when I interviewed you for my project, like that was like we were like coming up with questions. Like he, or my science teacher, Mr. Hankel, if you're watching, hello. He basically was saying like how like we were going through like different mindsets and everything of like how people think, and we came up with like so we did like two there were three parts to the project basically. So before I interviewed you, we wrote like a narrative about ourselves and like how like health what health means to like you personally. And so like I went on like a big thing about like my struggles there, like how people back then would say how mental health was not a real thing, and like how people really didn't view it as a real thing until like recently. I'll say because like I feel like a lot of people just they don't when they think health, they think like exercise or eating
Yeah.
right or this, and that. And like that is a big part of health though. Like the thing that people don't I don't think get is that mental health is a big factor in health. Like you could be healthy, like, physically, but mentally it's like yeah, that's also a big part of like
Mhm.
the health part of your life. Like it's not just like exercise, eating right. Like that part also has to be good. Also, to in my opinion, like be healthy, like be like functioning like you really want to be, and not be like held back by any like problems in your head that are going on. Which is why like I chose to like write about that because that was one of the things where in general though when I was like younger I never thought of health like that.
Yeah.
And then until like all of those things start happening with me, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's like this is a part of health.
Yeah, yeah. Earlier today I was giving a talk with some of my colleagues in pediatrics. But anyway, the
Mm,
talk was about joy in medicine. But
mm,
one of the things that I was saying is something that I share with my athletes and my friends very often. But I say that, you and I are the most important part of any equation. So, like,
mm,
your physical and mental health is important for how you're showing up at your job, with your colleagues, at school, with your family, your parents, your siblings, your friends. But like, you are the key to everything, and included in that is both your physical and mental health. So whatever we can do to optimize that, I know it sounds simple, but it's not easy to do. But truly, like, going back to that and remembering like you are the most important piece here for all of the other things.
yeah, that's the big thing that like everybody should think about. I think because I feel like a lot of people don't think in that direction about it at all. And like personally for me, like when all of this was happening and things had got so bad, where it was like, what can I do? And like the intrusive thoughts, the suicidal thoughts, everything that was going on, like it makes you like it puts you like I'll say in a different perspective on things, and like it made me think of things like in a whole new way. I'll put it that way. Like I
Mhm.
can't really describe it in a way, but it's one of those things where it was like I enjoy things more now, like in a
Yeah.
way. Mm,
Yes. Yeah, no, that
eh,
makes sense. Well, I want you to share with everybody. So it's hearing all of this, and also knowing that, I spoke with you in kind of the middle of all of this. And of course, I had no
mm,
idea that any of this was going on. So, that is I want to hug you across the computer. And just note, like, how far and how amazing that this is compared to where you were last year.
yeah, it's definitely one of the things where it's like now, like even though I still have some days where it's like, did progress get lost? But it's like one of the things where like I talk to Jeremy about this a lot, where it's like he's like, no matter how much you think progress is lost, right? He's like, you think about it this way. He like you are in a way, 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 way better place right now than you were last year or two
Yes.
years ago. He's like if you think about it, he's like, you know now, because like at first I wouldn't reach out for help like when things were going. He like, you know now how to reach your support system, reach out for help, let people know when things are not right. He's like, if you think about that, that is the progress you have made. It's like no matter what, you haven't lost any progress, even though it may not feel like it, we didn't lose anything.
Agree 100%. Now,
Yeah.
yes, before we tie this up, I need you to tell everybody about your project and your race coming up.
Oh yeah. So
This is
thanks for
exciting.
thankfully we mentioned this. When you're a senior in Pennsylvania, you have to do like some type of big senior project that's like required for you to graduate. And so like here, I go to SLA, Science Leadership Academy, and here we do like, capstone projects where like you come up with something like that you really enjoy and you want to like make something, create something. And so since I love running so much, I'm doing a 5K on May 9th called the SLA Road to Glory 5K. It'll be held at Schuylkill River Park in South Philly. It's like this wonderful dog park area that's right off the Schuylkill banks. It's so wonderful. And so basically, I've been like, for the past few months, I've been planning everything out, and oh, I'm excited for that. It's a stressful job. I'm not even gonna lie. Like,
Yes.
I'm realizing it's 100 people race. And I'm still like, oh my God, I gotta order shirts, medals, and everything like that. It's crazy. Like
Yes.
it's a lot of work to put together. We're holding the thing on May 9th. There will be shirts, there'll be medals, there'll be food because we're having the after party.
Yes.
We're having an after party, as I found out. We're pulling an after party out the box. And then also surprise for everybody watching and that wants to do this. Where so you know how the also main reason I want to come on this podcast too is not only are we talking about like the mental health aspect of things in this race, is that at this race, like during the after party, or like maybe like right before, after we're still figuring that part out, there will be like a talk from me as the race director about like running and mental health and like how the different resources you can use and like my own story about it. We
Amazing.
also told during the race, like post race, supposed to be like are in the middle of the after party and everything.
Yes, yes.
That will be happening as well on that day.
Oh, wow. Fabulous. And the other thing that you didn't mention, so the race is it free to sign up? And then
Oh
the
yes,
hope is
it's free.
that we will donate, right, to,
Yes,
yes. Okay, tell us about
yes.
that. Yes.
So we're still working on the place, but it's going to benefit mental health in some way, like
Oh,
to
great.
raise money and like raise more awareness about it. Because I don't think a lot of people like really, really think about it, honestly, as much as they should, in my opinion. And
Yeah.
so my race is also like the big thing, like for Braskin, like we were doing this, like the big thing that you have like this big question that you want to ask like throughout your thing. And my big question was like, how does the mind and the body like help you like through running and through activities? And so like that's the big thing that I'm focusing on like through this capstone. Like I don't just like even though it is a fun race and it's going to be
Yeah.
like I want people like think about that like through the race, like how calming running can be. It can be competitive sometimes, even though it shouldn't be sometimes. But
Yeah.
like, you know, how competitive it can be, how like calming and how as a resource it can be used to help people in that way.
Yeah. Oh, this is amazing. Well, my listeners will not be surprised. I mean, I found running while I was like very burned out in my job and after I lost my dad to
Mhm.
cancer. And I feel like running, I mean, it helped because I spent time with myself and I was like alone with my thoughts and it really helped with the grieving process for me and it still does. So running can be a lot of different things for different people, but for sure it has a calming effect. And like you said, it can be competitive, it can be fast, it can be all of those things, but also there is a very healing aspect to it, which I
Yeah.
think you and I have both found in different ways.
Yes, that's true. We very much have.
And
That's
I
one of the
will,
best things about it.
yeah, I also want to say, so I've never been a race director for an in-person race, but I hosted a couple of virtual races like during COVID, and that was a lot of work. Like
Yeah.
organizing, we had medals and like I had swag bags that I had to mail
Mm.
out to everyone, and it was
Oh
it was
boy.
yeah, it was something. And I also capped it at 100, and it felt like a lot. And I just was thinking, on a larger scale for all of these races with, like Broad Street with what 50,000 people, like
Yeah.
it's a lot. So anyway, I'm very excited for you. I'm excited for the race. I'm going to leave the link in the show notes. And so it sounds like if you are in the Philly area and you want in on the race, you should go and sign up now because there may not be spots left very soon.
Yes. Yeah, I'm like, whoa. I was expecting to get there that
That's
fast.
amazing. Well,
Mind you, we're
maybe,
in February.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We're in the sort of the end of February. The race is May 9th. So,
Yeah,
well,
we're
amazing.
good.
And, I'll just give one last shout out to the Students Run Philly Style, one of my favorite organizations in the city, of which you have been a part of for a long
Yeah.
time now.
Yes. Love them so much.
We'll tag them on this episode too.
Yes. Yeah. 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 That helps them.
And I'll give them a plug and say, if you didn't get into the Broad Street Lottery, they have charity bibs available. So fear not, head over to their website and you can be a charity runner for them. And they are amazing. So
Yes, they're the most wonderful people there.
they are. They are. All right. Well, Qwazir, thank you so much for coming back on the show and having, a very open and honest discussion about a really important topic.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. The
Yeah,
first
yeah.
two-time guest.
Woo! Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yes, you're very welcome. And thank you, everyone, for listening. We'll see you next week. Thank you for listening today. If you enjoyed the episode, please share it with a friend. And if you have a moment, please rate and review the podcast so that we can reach and encourage others to tie on their sneakers and join us out there on a run. See you next time.